Hey guys, welcome back to Ray's Create Cards. It is pretty much a countdown to Christmas at this point, isn't it? And the weather, oh my heavens, the weather. And especially for those who live in North or South Dakota, Michigan, Upper Michigan. Oh my heavens. Anyway, guys, do know that prayers have been going up and out for everyone to be safe. I don't know if we're going to see a loss of life from this really severe weather. Ours has yet to hit. It's going to start raining here in East Tennessee tonight, and then sometime early morning, the temperature is really going to drop. And I don't know, depending on which app you open to check your weather, it's going to be 7 degrees with a wind chill of -10, that kind of thing. Yeah. Whether we get any snow or not remains to be seen. We might get a little bit, but anyway, yeah, prayers for your safety. And I ran my last errand this morning for Christmas so that I could have everything we needed for Christmas Eve with Mom and all the family. So, all right. This is a new set that's going to be going live to you January is it the 4th or the 5th? Okay, I've slept since I last looked at the catalog. Oh my heavens. All right, yeah, we're just going to say the 5th. I believe it is the 5th. Anyway, so there are a couple of sets that actually kind of tied together. One is called Country Bouquet. I did not order that one. I ordered this one because I could see so many possibilities with this one. And so real quick, I want to show you the dies. Oops, one of them's already slipped away. As you can tell, I've been using it hot and heavy, and I hope you like the 2 cards that we're going to do today. And I actually did a 3rd card. I hadn't really planned on including it in this video. However, I will show it to you at the end and explain to you how I put it together. So anyway, look at this beautiful stamp set. Now, this is one solid stamp. So much love, okay? That is all together. And at first, I was tempted to maybe cut my stamps apart, but you don't have to, and I'll show you why here in just a second. For you, this is also one stamp, okay? You have a medium heart and a very tiny heart. You have 2 different flowers plus the middles for those flowers. You have a bigger leaf with the accent part for the leaf, and a smaller leaf with its accent. You have the middle of the flower. I probably don't have that on there just perfectly, but anyway, and some wonderful sentiments that go with this for the dies. So, as you can tell right here, that will actually cut out the For You when it's stamped, and here's why you don't have to cut them apart. It cuts them apart. So you get the individual For and the individual You. And then you have your shadow die that cuts out the outline so that you can then put that right there and it'll have a background to show up, okay? And ditto for the So Much Love. So here is your So Much Love. And it, again, it cuts out each word individually and you have your shadow die. But that's not all. On top of that, you have the thin letters. There's Much Love, You, and For. You have both of your flower outlines. You have your medium heart outline and both of your leaves. Very well done, very well thought out, and I have really enjoyed this set. Now, there is some coordinating DSP that goes with both of those stamp sets. And I just very quickly pulled out 3 of each color. There are 3 different patterns. This is called, let's see here. It's called Country Gingham, and it's 6x6, 48 sheets. And you have Petal Pink, for one of the colors. And I want you to look at these gingham patterns. Aren't they delightful? I don't think gingham ever goes out of style. You see that? Oh, isn't it pretty? I'm loving it. You have your mint macaron. Okay. And again, the 3 patterns in the mint macaron. You have your balmy blue, which is very pretty. These are all really soft colors in here, by the way. Very soft. And I don't know about you guys. In some ways, I'm really tired of red and green. But, however, I did use some red in today's cards. So, and then we have Sweet Sorbet. And those are your colors. Okay. Isn't that pretty? All right. Let's go ahead and get started. And before we jump into it, I told you guys last week, if you'll remember, this was the card we made. This was the fun fold, okay? I had some scraps from doing these cards. So, I told you I might go ahead and make some cards with those scraps, and I did. And so, here is one that I did. And the more I look at it, the more I think I'm going to go back and put one more flower, maybe like right in here. I really think it needs a 3rd flower to kind of balance that out. But look how simple, and it was so easy to put together. Now, the bling that I used on this is also in the new mini. That when it goes live, it's a pastel adhesive back sequins. Now, one of the beautiful things, besides the iridescent colors, can I get that out? So look here. You get 2 sizes. You get what I call a large and a medium, okay? But they're flat. Can you see how flat they are? If I hold that, I mean, look at that. No bulk whatsoever. And I'm really hoping Stampin' Up! Gives us more of that kind of thing. But I thought that was really pretty. And I did use the gold right there on that one. Okay. Put these to the side. And then there was this one. And I used a new embossing folder called, and we're going to use it on one of today's cards too. It's called the Cane Weave 3D Embossing Folder. Okay. So I did the white on white. And took my scraps. I cut out a heart with our heart punch out of vellum and put the Faith Over Fear. On the inside, I finished it off. Everything will be okay. And then here was this one. Again, just using the scraps. And there we go. And I made this one a thank you card. That very first one I showed you where I'm thinking about adding another flower, my sentiment was, hey there. And that opens up a lot of doors. So I have not finished it off on the inside yet. I'm just going to hold this in reserve and kind of wait and see, you know, what the occasion is that I might want or need to send that to someone, okay? But anyway, I did come in here as I promised I would try to do so and managed to fit that in. And guys, it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to get your scraps and start looking at them. Look at some of the dies you have, some of the stamp sets you have, and, you know, just go from there. All right. So here is the first card that we are going to be doing today. Okay. And like I said, it does, when you die cut, it does cut them out separately, and they all have their place on that background die. Now, this is Sweet Sorbet. However, I chose to use the real red on stamping my letters. So this is my color palette for this card. It is real red, mint macaron, and Tahitian Tide. I thought the Tahitian Tide went well, whether it was red or Sweet Sorbet. Yeah, I'm inky. I've still been in here this morning playing, and so, you know, it is what it is, okay? And then I finished it off with those pearlescent pearls. And then on the inside, thanks for all you do. Okay, so let's get ready and put it together. I have pre-done a lot of these pieces. Again, you know, we're at the countdown to Christmas, and I know you guys don't want to have to sit and see a long video, and so it's all good. So I went ahead and I stamped off. When I stamped my flower, let me get the stamp set back out here. So here's the flower. This is the solid part. And right here is the fill. So when I stamped it, I did stamp off once, but then for this part, the detailed part, I did stamp full strength in the Tahitian tide. And even though the leaves I could have put another layer for detail on this card, I didn't. I simply stamped it straight in mint macaron. It's already such a light color of green. So I did stamp that part full strength. I took the single leaf and the double leaf, okay, and put that together. And here is our piece of sweet sorbet gingham. And I have cut this at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then we have a base of basic white. You take that out. We'll just go ahead and get my, oh, there it is. Lost my Tombow for a minute. We're going to go ahead and just start putting this together. And I'll just show you how all this works. But it is a gorgeous set, guys. I really hope you're thinking seriously about ordering it. And I think I'm going to need my glasses. I am going to need my glasses. Ooh, didn't know my eyes were that bad without them. All right, am I straight? Maybe. But I'm not all the way up in camera. Let's get up here. There we go. All right. I would love to tell each and every one of you out there, don't stress it. But I know you're going to, because don't we all? Oh, my goodness. But I'm going to tell you, with age comes a little bit of wisdom, okay? With age, we kind of realize what's really important and what isn't. And I know for me, for so many years, I was my own worst enemy. And I thought everything had to be over the top and it had to be perfect. And push comes to shove, a lot of times our efforts aren't even recognized by other people. They're not really fully appreciated. So be judicial in how much you do and who you do it for, okay? All right, so this is the way that background die for So Much Love. It looks kind of funny, but it is not hard when you cut it out to figure out what goes where. And I know I'm going to be using my tweezers a lot. So the sew actually, let me kind of straighten this up a little bit, actually fits right there. It took me a hot minute to figure out exactly where the sew went. And so let's just go ahead and put some glue on the back of this and we'll get that down and onward and upward. All right. Okay. And I also realize I don't have near as much on me as a lot of you do, especially when you have young children still in the household and there's all those presents to wrap. And guys, as parents, we want to give our kids everything we can. You know, we do. It's natural. It's normal. However, you know, prices have gotten so high. I can't believe how high kids' toys are, guys. Oh, my heavens. I was in the toy department the other day, and even the so-called inexpensive toys, it was like, you have got to be kidding me. I couldn't believe it. And so my heart goes out to you. And let me tell you something. If you weren't able to buy everything that you felt like you needed to buy for that child or even for that grandchild, please don't beat yourself up. Please don't. All right, so here goes the much. Am I still in camera? I am. So there we go. Got that right there. And then we're going to get the love. If I can get a hold of it. So, it comes down to family time and making good memories being the ultimate importance, isn't it? I mean, honestly, we can all think back to Christmases. And, you know, there are some of the things that we got as children for Christmas that we will never forget, you know. But by the same token, I remember more so the good things my mom would cook, the gaiety in the house, that feeling of love and closeness. And isn't that really where it's at? It really is. All right, so I'm going to put that right about there, but not just yet. We're going to go ahead and get the For You put together. But yeah, when I honestly was thinking about cutting my stamps apart. And then when I saw how it die cut everything out separately, it's like, oh yeah, this is awesome. This is awesome. Only once or twice have I ever cut my stamps apart. One was a butterfly set, and I can't remember now what the other one was, but yeah. All right. There we go. And we'll get our U on there. All right, and I really hope y'all are liking this card. I hope I'm not disappointing anybody by giving up on the Christmas stuff not too long after the month of December started. But guys, I had started them back in July. I was all Christmased out. I really was. If you don't have your Christmas cards made by now, I'm sorry. Just plan on doing better next year. All right, let's see. I think I put that on there at a little bit of an angle. And then my flower right about there. Let me kind of finagle this around just a bit. And yeah, I think that'll work. That'll work. But you want to fill up the front of a card real fast. This is the set. It is. All right, we'll go ahead and put this on. I didn't pre-stamp, I don't think, my sentiment for the inside, so I will have to get that out. Get that on a block. And there's that. And we'll do the For You. And I didn't show you. I'm going to here real quick. Let's go ahead and get this down and kind of situated. Need that maybe over that way a little bit more. And then, because the way these petals turn, it kind of gives you the ability to get the right feel for the flower, how you want it to lay on your particular design. If that makes sense. Okay. And this one isn't laying the way I did my original card, but that's good. I mean, I'm fine with that. I really am. Let me get my set back out. Nope, it's laying over here. So, the thin one that you can die cut out, guys, they die cut like a dream. They do. So, not so much in the word much, but for the others that have loops like the love and the U, those little middle pieces, honey, they just fall right out. I only ran them through once, like once. And you know, if you wanted to, depending on the colors and the design of your card, if you really wanted to snazz it up just a little bit more, you could absolutely use that and layer that on top for even more dimension and more interest. Okay, and then for the inside, I have a piece of Sweet Sorbet that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And if you don't like those skinny borders, then go ahead and cut it the traditional 4 by 5 1/4. Some people don't like the really skinny borders, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. We all have our own tastes and likes and dislikes. So, yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. All right, now on here, I wanted to stamp "Thanks for all you do," and I don't have that pre-mounted. I probably did at one point, but I don't now. And these sentiments are small. And I love that. I love that it's small. My poor little blocks are so dirty. They're so dirty. I didn't give them a bath before I started the video. So just overlook my little dirty blocks. Now, I'm not using Memento on this card. And I'm not, because Memento is awesome. It is awesome. However, there are times when I want a more intense black. And so I will default back to VersaFine. It is a pigment ink. It's Onyx Black, and it's a little bit more of a black than even Memento is. And I will warn you, if you decide you want to try that ink, it does take a hot minute for it to dry. Because it is pigment, it is not water-based, and it does not dry. We're spoiled with Stampin' Up! Inks drying pretty much instantly. Ditto for the Memento, even though that is not made by Stampin' Up! It is still a very fast-drying ink. However, pigment inks, no, you can, it'll take it a second. Do I have a clean finger? I don't think I have a clean finger. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's a little, see how there was a little bit of black came up on my finger? So you do kind of have to be mindful and be careful when you get ready to stamp. Either do something else for a minute or two, or just be really careful how you handle it. Okay. And then we'll do our bling on the front, and we're done. All right. So, I hope I didn't cheat anyone by pre-doing everything. I know sometimes, you know, there might be people who are new to card making, and they need to see videos where you're die cutting and all that, and using embossing folders. There is definitely a need for that. And I'm just going to take a scrap piece of cardstock, and I'm just going to lay over that, so as we are putting the bling on the front, I don't accidentally transfer it to my cardstock. And once upon a time I had some bling. Here we go. So these are those pearls, and where is my... Oh my goodness. Okay, I've got 6 loaves of pumpkin bread to make. I have 6 children's treat bags to make. What else? Let's see. There was something else I knew I needed to get done. But as I'm filming this, here it is. It's Thursday. And I have plenty of time. But, yeah, it's all good. Whoops. I had it. Get back here. All right, here we go. And I used more than 3 on this card. I went ahead and did 5. And I mixed the big with the small. And we're going to put a small one right down here. So there are 5 on the front of this card. And I don't normally go to that length, but I did on this one, okay? So how easy was that? I mean, a little stamping, a little die cutting, glue it all together, and that should be dry, and I don't see anything on there, so that's awesome. Okay, good, good. Card number 1. And I can't wait to show you when I was in here playing what I did for card number 3. All right, so here is card number 2. And again, I stuck with the Sweet Sorbet, but I did not bring in any of the real red. All the red you see here is just Sweet Sorbet. And on the inside, isn't that cute? I love that. Nobody gets me like you get me. That is awesome. Okay, let's get ready and put that together. Let me move my bling. Every time I touch this, I lose one. So, I have a Sweet Sorbet card base, okay? Put this white to the side for the minute. And again, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 on the DSP. And absolutely, I don't see why, if you wanted to mix the blue, the balmy blue, and use that this side up, you sure could. Absolutely, I'm loving that pack of paper. It is so versatile. The colors that they put together for the palette for the DSP is awesome. It's awesome, awesome. Okay, got that on there. Now, I did go ahead and pre-emboss this vellum using that Cane Weave 3D embossing folder. And look what I noticed. So when I laid it over this as I was playing and coming up with my design, I felt like it fit that pattern just really well. Now, I'm going to give you a heads up. You have seen all of us demonstrators, and I've done it myself many, many times, get out the glue mat, squirt some glue on there, and take a sponge to sponge the glue over the back of the vellum so you can't see it. Guess what, guys? You don't have to do that. I've known for a long time you don't have to do that, but I never thought to tell you guys in a video. So, some people don't ever notice until they find it by mistake. We're so used to using this end of the glue bottle. If you have never noticed, there's another end. This is the end that is going to save you and make it so, so easy to attach your vellum without glue showing, okay? So we've got this really wide, broad tip. So I'm going to have to, since I am used to using it the other way, I want to get this out. And you do want to work fairly quickly, but you're just going to take this and cover the back of your vellum. The messiest part is going to be you getting some glue on your fingers, because Tombow is really sticky. However, for everything you gain, you get something in return, right? And for everything you gain, you give something up. So this is a very strong, very awesome, awesome glue, but it's sticky. It is. All right, I'm going to lay this on here hopefully straight. Don't really want to be sliding it around. And I'm going to give it a gentle back rub. Gentle back rub. Because there's nothing worse than having vellum curling up on the corners. And it does curl the vellum just a little bit when you run it through that embossing folder. It does. Just manipulate it. You know, just kind of gently bend it back in the direction that you need it. All right. I'm going to give it one more little rub. And then I'm going to hold it up so that you can see. You can't see the, oh goodness, am I gluing it to my paper? Oh, get off, get off, get off. There we go. Yeah, I should have had my glue mat out. But look at that. Do you see? If I hold it up really close, you can't see the glue. You absolutely cannot see the glue. Amazing. And so Tombow is awesome for that. I don't know that there's any other glue that I could do that with, and there might be one out there, but I'm not aware of it. Okay, I went ahead and pre-did 3 flowers, and again, for the body of the flower, I stamped off one time in the Sweet Sorbet, and then went full strength for the detail stamp. And yes, I do have a little bit of Tombow on my fingers. See if I can kind of get that off. Okay. And y'all have seen me sometimes. You know how I like to maybe sometimes double and triple die cut something to give it more dimension. Okay, so I did that. And I was very careful, or I tried to be, as I took these after they were die cut and lifted them up, because I want you to see, you don't even need your take your pick tool. I mean, they just fall right out, guys. This is the easiest stuff to die cut for such fine letters Like I said, see, I can't even really pick it up and see that real tiny, tiny part. Look at that. Look at that, it just comes right out. You don't have to fuss with it or anything. Love it. But I did try to keep a few of these intact so that you could see. And come on, don't make a liar out of me. I hate being made a liar out of, don't you? And that seems to happen more than we wish it did. Get my little pieces out of the way here. There we go. I'm just going to throw them in the floor. I got a vacuum anyway. It's a mess and a half in my card room here. All right. One thing I want to do, and I did it on the original too, is I'm just going to take a little bit of Wink of Stella, and I'm just doing the middle of the flower. Just the middle. Nowhere else. There we go. Another piece here. There we go. All right, let's get ready and start gluing these together. Now, I'm not using Tombow. This is one of those times I'm defaulting back to my Bearly Art precision glue, because half the time I don't think to get out my adhesive sheets. I mean, I just don't think to. And I'm looking for my tweezers. There they are. I don't think to. And even when I do think to, it's like, nah. I don't know if I'm being lazy or what, but nah. So I'm just going to take this fine point, and we're going to glue together 3 of these to give a little bit of depth. Okay. I'll hold that. If I can get a hold of this one without scrunching it up, lay it together, very quickly start to. Now, for everything you gain, you give something up. Here we go back to that again. So, this glue is not sticky, and it is a strong glue. However, it does not give you the wiggle room that Tombow gives you. Like, this stuff starts setting up really quick, okay? So you don't want to be playing around. You want to just go ahead and get that and get it done, right? All right, let's get this one more time. Oh, that's an air bubble. I don't want that air bubble on there. See if I can put a little bit of that on there. No, okay. Well, that's what jeans are good for, right? Wipe it off on your jeans. I do that all the time. Okay, just a little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit right there on top of the E. And let's go ahead and get this down. And don't worry, guys, you know, when you're doing this, if you decide to do like I'm doing and you want to double or triple stack your letters just to get a little bit more oomph going, as I call it. Oh, I'm struggling with this one, aren't I? I'm not real sure why my metabolism is up like it is, but when that happens, I get kind of shaky, and I can't do as well as I normally would do. All right, my little E is not coming together like it should. Okay. I think we about got it. All right. And you don't have to be that fiddly with it, or, you know, don't be like me. Go ahead and, I see a little bit of glue there. I just want to kind of wish it out of the way because it's not sticky, so it's okay. All right, so now we have the love. Now let's work on our U's. Yeah, see, I probably should have gone ahead and pre-done this part too. But, you know, if I pre-do everything, then it's almost like it comes together too fast, I guess. And we're already on our second card, guys. So once we're done with this part here, yeah, the rest of it will be, a lot faster. So, but if you don't see what it's really like on video to do this step without it being sped up or pre-done for you, then when you get ready to try it for yourself in your own card room, you might get really frustrated. So, you know, it's just one of them things. Yeah, this glue is nice and happy in my warm room. This is one of probably the warmest rooms in the house. And so when the heat comes on, I seem to get more than my share in here. So my glue is very warm and very happy. That makes a difference too. Okay. And it's just not sticky. Like it, I love it. I love it for that reason. Where did I put my little stick? Here it is. My little pen. I'm just rubbing that. It dries matte. You won't see it. Tombow dries shiny. So if you have Tombow that kind of seeps out, unless you have an adhesive eraser to remove all traces, it just kind of like waves at you and goes, here I am. Yep. Okay. There we go. And I'm not going to worry if there's a little bit of white showing, because like I said, it dries matte. You can't see it. You won't see it. All right. One more time. I want to bring back in. I have got to put the pen back in here real quick, because this stuff dries way faster than Tombow. Hence, not as much wiggle room. But I do want to take my Love You, and I want a layer. No, I don't want that. I want my Wink of Stella and just glitter up the letters. I'm almost out of camera. Oh my. So here we go. Get that on there real quick. I love how Wink of Stella just instantly pretty much dries. Like it's so quick. And of course, I know on camera, you're not really going to be able to see the shine. I will at least try and hold it up and see if you can see it. But in real life, those of you who have used Wink of Stella, and you know this is true in real life, it does make a difference. It really, truly does. It just adds that little extra something. All right, I'm going to sketch that up. Bring this over. And I want one of my flowers right up in here somewhere. About like that. That's good. And then we're going to get another one. And put that together right. Let's come down a little ways. Right about there. Am I going to be sticky? No, surprisingly, not sticky. And get this back out for my little skinny letters. And I'm going to lay this on some white. Whoops. That off of there. Got a little... It doesn't look like glue. It looks like fuzz. I'm bring this up. And you might get a hint of that sparkle. You don't have to look real hard for it in real life. I mean, it is readily apparent on your finished project. If you've never gotten Wink of Stella, please do. It's very inexpensive. A thing of Wink of Stella will last you forever. Ever and ever. Now, I am being mindful that I have a heavily embossed textured surface that this has got to adhere to. So in some areas, I may go just a little heavier with the glue to make sure my corners and everything are going to be held down. And I just simply popped it on at a little bit of an angle. There we go. Just going to hold that down for a second. It does set up faster than Tombow. So, you know, in this case, that's a plus. And then we'll get you put on here. Actually, when I'm in my card room, I prefer it to be a little on the cooler side, rather than it being real warm, but okay, got that. And then the U can either be straight or at an angle. You do you. Actually, I've got that at a little bit of an angle on my original card. I had it more straight up and down, but that's okay. And since I've already got the Barely Art glue out, I'm going to go ahead and use that on the back here. And I want to put that right about there, I guess. That works. And the only other dies that I used for this card, let me get this corralled. The only other die I used for this card comes from the Stylish Shapes dies, and I'll show you exactly. In the circles, I used next to the smallest. This one, well, let me take the smallest one out. I used that one right there because it fits so perfectly. The other one of the other sentiments that is in the stamp set, and that is each and every day. And again, I stamped it in the VersaFine. And on this, I do want to use dimensionals. And I know you all probably thought she's never going to use dimensionals again, but I am. You know, it's funny how we can go through little phases and stuff in our card making, right? And I've just got some leftover ones here from where I have cut them for other projects. So I am on a mission to use these little cut up pieces. So we're going to do that. Okay. You know, sometimes I overthink it and I cut too much up. And then it's like, well, got to find a project to use those on. I call them dimensional bones, you know, like pizza bones, because this is all pretty much coming from the edge, and we don't waste a thing, do we? All right, let me pull the backings off ever so quickly if I can. And ooh, guys, when I get done with this, ooh, guys, I gotta go clean a bathroom. I know. We hate that, don't we? Oh, well, it's nice when it gets done. And one more. But yeah, if you're going to use dimensionals, use them. I mean, fully support your project. If you're not, then, is that off of there? Oh, I do have them all. If you're not, just don't bother. You know, just glue it flat. And so I'm going to try to make sure my words are straight. Got that on there. Now, I'm going back to my iridescent pearls for the bling. However, I am going to take my dark sweet sorbet, and I really want to use the big ones. So, and I'm not sure, is there too much glare on these? I hope not. And I'm just going to take, I'm going to color 3 of these in my dark, and I'm only going to do 1 coat. I'm not going to get real persnickety about it and try to do multiple coats. We're just going to do 1 coat. And my husband is off work. They shut down the plant until after the 1st of the year. And so y'all just say a prayer for me, okay? Because that man is here to pesterate me any way he can figure out how. And I'm cooped up with him for a few days. All right. Let me get my take your pick tool. And let's go ahead and just pop some of these on there. Did I get all that one? I think so. If you don't get these colored right, once you pop them on, I still see something. I don't know what it is. Let me take the brush end, if I can get that off. Well, I'm not used to taking that end off. It just looks naked right there. I can see it. You guys probably can't, but I can. And that would have bothered me forever. Okay. And we'll stick one right about there. One more. One more. And we'll stick one right about there. All right. Well, maybe I shouldn't have put it right on that end. There we go. All right. And for the inside, we are going to put, what did I put? What did I put on this one? Nobody gets you like you get me. Okay. And stick that on there. Move this, this. I've covered up my VersaFine. Let's go ahead and get that inked up. There we go. All right, let me get this straight. Did I get glue on that? Oh, I did. I got a bunch of glue. That's okay. We'll get that here in a minute. Or, since I'm going to be putting glue up, yep, nope, don't want to use that side. And please not to stamp it upside down. There we go. There's that. And I'm not even looking to see if I stamped it straight. Now I need a little bit of scratch paper. I don't have a piece of scratch paper, so I'm going to use my little scrap here. You can get out my sweet sorbet, because I did want to stamp a flower on the inside down in the corner here. Poor little blocks. Oh my heavens. And I think I'm going to do the small flower. So I'm going to ink that up and I'll stamp it off. Now remember your lessons in stamping off. If you do it real quick, you'll have more of the ink left on there for your second generation stamping. Okay, so there we go. There's second generation stamping. That to the side. And I need my detail flower. Where'd it go? I had it. Where'd it go? There it is. All right, let's stick that on here now real quickly, because I never did mark how mine are supposed to line up. And it's not hard, guys. It is not hard to line it up. It isn't. It isn't. And so I do want it real dark for the detail. Just going to hold that a sec. There we go. Put that over to the side. Yeah, I know. I always did clean my stamps right away. There's no sense in me getting out of that habit. So I've got my stamping scrub. It's already wet with the Stampin' Mist. I'd be lost without this thing, guys. I'd be lost without my chamois too, but... Alright, now I need that little teeny tiny middle and a teeny tiny block. And I don't know what I did in my block. Can you see? I have not figured out what has caused that, because it doesn't scratch off. It does not scrub off, not with soap, not with Stampin' Mist, not with anything. I have no idea if I sprayed something at some point around this block, and it may have kind of etched the surface. But I can still see through it. I can see just fine. Let's put that middle in there. There we go. And this is kind of a laid-back set too. I mean, it's got a lot of fancy going on. It's got a lot of really neat things going on with it. It's a little laid back. And if you don't hit your mark straight on, because I didn't in some of the practice stamping when I first started playing with this set, I didn't hit things straight on, and honestly, it did not look bad. It truly did not. Now, I am going to get my adhesive eraser, and I am going to take this off. I hope I'm going to take it off. Yep, it's getting it. That was a big blob. That was really a big blob. Just going to gently, gently. Okay. And because that was such a big blob, I got a little something, something there. It did kind of tear my cardstock a little bit. I've never had Tombow do that. Ever. But that was a big blob. So, I can always come back and stamp another flower and another flower and kind of really cover all that up. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and put this puppy together. And as you can tell, I had a piece of cardstock get kind of scraped up and stained up. That's okay. Just flipped it over. Here's the other side. No big deal. And on the inside piece, I did cut it 4 by 5 1/4. So here are your traditional wider borders. Okay. There's that. We got the Wink of Stella going on. We got our bling going on. So here's card 1. And here's card 2. And they were actually really easy to design and put together. And I told you I was going to show you one more card. So I got in here into my room and I started playing. And this is what I came up with. And I used Thanks for All You Do. And I cut out the thin love. And then on the inside, each and every day. So how this came about, I had a white card base. And I thought I was going to make a portrait style card. Well, I took it. Let me get my ruler. Because like I said, I didn't write any of this down as I went. So here I have my card base. And I went in from this edge. And I scored it at 1 3/4 of an inch. Was that 1 3/4? 1 1/4. So I scored it at 1 1/4. Folded it back. And honestly thought, well, okay, I need to measure to see what size piece of DSP there and here. And am I going to put one on that side? And I turned it around in my hands and I thought, you know, all you have to do is cut some DSP for this side, DSP for this side, a piece of DSP for in the middle, and stamp and put your sentiment on there and be done. And then, yeah, so I glued just the edges right here where the white cardstock is. I just glued just right there. And here is this. This piece here is 5 inches by 2 1/2. Okay. And it fits right down in there. And here's something else you could do. You could always make that into a coupon or tuck a gift card in there, you know, if you wanted to change it up and do that. Of course, now that I've got that glued up, I can't tell you how big that piece is, but that's okay because all you have to do, so this is what I did. So I knew the width of my cardstock, the length of it was 5 1/2 at the widest, right? Just go down 1/4 of an inch. And so then you automatically know that when you go to cut your DSP, you want 5 1/4 inches. Ditto for this way. You start at the edge of the white cardstock and go to the other edge. That's 1 1/4. Take off 1/4 of an inch. So then I knew that strip had to be 1 inch. Same for on the inside, except because this is our traditional size, 4 by 5 1/4, okay, to get that border. And then all you have to do is measure. You got 5 1/4 for your DSP, 5 inches for your white piece, okay? And I think I cut this the same as I did that piece on the front. I think I did. And so it was 2 1/2, and 2 1/2 was plenty big enough for me to decorate it, be able to sign off on it, and when it's closed, it covers it up. Now, I should have probably put my little love down just a little bit lower so that little bit's not sticking up, but honestly, it doesn't bother me, and I don't think it will my recipient either. So anyway, that's how I came up with that. It wasn't meant to be part of the video or anything. But anyway, guys, I really, really hope that you are loving this set. And again, it is called Love for You, and the coordinating dies. And I did also use the Cane Weave 3D embossing folder. Love this. I love this. It's not feminine, but it's not male. I mean, it's like generic. Like you could use this on any kind of a card, a fancy card, an everyday toned down card, doesn't matter. All right. Guys, y'all be blessed. Do have a very Merry Christmas. Do know you are loved. God is good all the time. And I will see you after Christmas. Bye.